What's up, everyone? It is Diecastbuffet here again. Guys, we have a 2003 Jimmy Spencer diecast in the studio from Racing Champions. One of the coolest paint schemes, maybe, of 2003 that not a lot of people remember, unfortunately. They think of the Target 41 car for Jimmy Spencer, but no, he drove that 7 car with that beautiful light blue paint job. Let's go ahead and check it out. Alright folks, here we go with today's diecast review. This car was brand new, about 21 years ago. Yeah, this one is used. It is a pretty hard to find car nowadays, so that's why I feel like it's kind of okay to do a diecast review on it, even though it's got a lot of chips to it. This is a Racing Champions Dodge Intrepid from 2003, and I'm going to be honest with you, their diecast mold, there's a lot left to be desired, but this was only made, I think, on the Racing Champions mold and perhaps the Team Caliber one. I so wish this diecast would have got made by Hot Wheels. I think that would have been incredible. Or, of course, Action Winter Circle. Let's go to the front of the diecast. Look at this is going to be a fun diecast review. We want to know why. Look at all the different colors of markings on this diecast. You want to know what this came from? Duralast Cup style racing back in the 2000s, believe it or not. When these cars would wreck on the racetrack, they would mark other cars. So the paint from one car would actually mark on this one since it had, the white top of the car. So those markings are essentially battle scars from Duralast Cup style racing back in the 2000s, which it's just really cool because I remember getting this diecast. Like I literally remember getting it. I think it was at Family Dollar or something. I want to say it was actually one of the last cars from 2003 I got. I could be tripping. So this was probably one that was stuck on the shelf for a little bit. I think I got it like early 04 or something. Anyways, I remember opening it up and having this diecast as a kid. I was about 4 or 5 at the time. So that was pretty cool. Got Sirius right there on the hood of the car. I think Mike Joy had a nickname for the little dog on here. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I think it started with the M. I don't know. It was some little nickname they gave the dog in the broadcast booth during the Fox portion of the 03 season. I got Union 76 right there. Moog Clavite Cup Etterbrocken and Wix air filters. Got that Dodge Intrepid front end. Got Dodge right there at number 7. Notice how the headlights are actually kind of reflective, or not reflective, but they're like a metallic touch to it. That's an interesting thing that I've only seen on the Racing Champions 164s. Go to the left side of the diecast. I gotta be careful, guys, because these Racing Champions cars, they're getting brittle. I mean, I've seen so many of these things just break into pieces, and considering this one has literally been through, countless diecast races, I imagine the metal is not exactly tip-top shape. So you got Sirius right there on the left side of the car. How in the world did Martin Truex Jr. never run a throwback to this? Blows my mind, considering he was sponsored by Sirius like every other 4 weeks. Come on, guys. That would have been a great Donington throwback. Or they could have just ran it out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They could have done like a 20th anniversary paint scheme or something at Texas or whatnot. I got Jimmy Spencer right there. Not sure what that middle decal is. I see the Dodge logo. Got the number 7. Ultra wheels. Now, the team, I think, was something Ultra Motorsports. I don't know if it's a connection with them. Maybe they're the brand that owns the Ultra wheel brand. But I think that was the team he drove for. And, of course, everybody remembers, if you do remember this paint scheme, you probably think of Kurt Busch. Because Jimmy Spencer versus Kurt Busch, whether you want to admit it or not, was one of the greatest NASCAR rivalries ever because it was real. It wasn't fabricated. It wasn't, the media pushed it. It was literally a real rivalry. It was amazing, man. Kurt Busch versus Jimmy Spencer, man. What a rivalry. I got Goodyear right there. True Value, NASCAR race car. Goodyear, Goodyear belts right there. EA Sports, Jessel. Oh, yeah, fun fact. I don't think this car was on NASCAR Thunder 2003, or 2004, rather. I don't think it was. Am I tripping on that? Was it on the game, or was it not? I'm not 1,000% sure. I don't think it was. I could be tripping on that, guys. So if that's the case, that's unfortunate. Got Jessel, Mechanic Square, Bowman 3M, Outback, Rebestos, Holly, True Value. I'll probably double pronounce some of those. That's okay. Now, this is one of those things I really didn't like about the car is how low profile the roof is. Like, I know the Gen 4s were slammed to the ground. Aerodynamically, they were basically a bullet that was marketed as a billboard. But there's just something about the chop top Dodge Intrepid mold they have. Not a big fan of it. Like, I like the front end of the car because there's a lot of three-dimensional detail. That looks good. Just something about that. And then the wheels, the way they stay tucked up inside the fender wells, just, I don't know. When you look at the Dodge Hot Wheels Intrepid mold and the Action Winter Circle variant as well, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't stand up very well against it. And then you go to the back panel of this, and I don't know if this is accurate to the real car, but there's this goofy cutout. Like, it reminds me of like those Cadillacs that would have the spare tire on the back, and it has like a little crescent where the tire would rack on the trunk, you know, like a 70s Cadillac or something, or maybe like an 80s Coupe de Ville or something. That's what it kind of reminds me of there. So that kind of bugs me. You got Sirius right there at number 7. Not sure what those 3 dots are there. That's interesting. Got Dodge, and the spoiler, the bracket for it is painted black, but everything else is the same color of the car, which is it's a pretty blue. That's really what it is. It's like sky blue. It's like a Carl Edwards Claritin blue, if you remember his Talladega car. I don't think it's petty blue. I think it's more of like just a sky blue. Go to the right side of the diecast, you can see more of that wear and tear. The left side, the left side is, the old saying is that if your right side's tore up, you're racing. If your left side is tore up, you're just in the way. I'm sorry, Jimmy Spencer, but yeah, it looks like the left side of the car was definitely, unfortunately, seen better days. Go to the right side of the car. Another thing I don't like about the Racing Champions cars is their wheels they're very inconsistent. They kind of move around a lot. The Racing Champions cars, they were amazing value for a collector. If you're a collector and you want 20 different cars, you could buy 20 NASCAR 164s from Racing Champions for probably about $42, give or take, because they were about $2 a pop, right? So around that, give or take, you could get 20 freaking NASCAR diecasts, right? That's amazing value. I mean, literally a amazing value for collectors, especially if you have a young NASCAR fan and you want to give them a full field of cars. Imagine being able to go down to the store and pick up, 20 different numbers and drivers of cars for $42. Bro, you're gonna make some kid's life. You know what I'm saying? Could you imagine getting a whole field of cars like that easily? Like, that is just, that's the value of Racing Champions. The problem is it was short term, because these things were made on very cheap metal and plastic that, I'm just saying, I would rather have a custom made of this paint scheme than have the actual die cast myself. I know that's kind of out there in left field, but because these things are, I'm afraid they're not going to last very long. These Racing Champions cars. That's what concerns me. With a custom, I could get I can make it on an Action Winter Circle mold, and that metal is about as good as the Hot Wheels like production cars from like the 70s and 80s, where you don't see them breaking like the actual casting breaking. Top of the car, again, you can see the number 7, which has the inverted color palette, which looks good. And you have all the scrapage right there. The window has a pretty gnarly scratch right there on the right side. I'm not sure if that's a crack or just a scratch on there. Again, this car literally was probably opened up early 2004, if I can remember correctly. And then you have the deck lid, which is actually pretty clean. But the clear coat for the deck lid is actually in pretty good shape. So I ended the video on this. So I did a diecast review recently on a 2002 Ricky Craven 2002 car. Let me grab it real quick. And if you look at the hood, not the hood, but the roof, if you're overseas, I think it's called the hood. Anyways, actually, do they call the roof of the car the hood or the bonnet over in like England or something? I don't know. If you're from over there, please comment down below, because I am not exactly the brightest mallard in the pond. And that would be cool to know. I digress. The roof of the car, it's really hard to see, but you can see some lines there. Those lines are actually decal cracks, right? What's fascinating is this car is a year older than this. It's from the verbatim exact same factory. They're both brightly colored cars. And this one was brand new. I literally opened it up like 5 days ago, right? It has been sitting in this package since probably right at the end of 2001 or early 2002 when it left the factory. What blows my mind is I don't see a single decal crack on here. Now, I've heard one of the theories about the Racing Champions cars and why they are aged so badly is temperature. Well, if your car sits like in a garage, a storage shed, or anything like that, it's probably going to be over 100 degrees in the summertime. That's extreme temperature. Then when it's like freezing cold, it's like 20 to 10 degrees. Yeah, it's going to be extremely cold. My point is that if that theory is true, that temperature really is the culprit, that would explain right now at the time of this video, a lot of my 2003 Racing Champions cars have no decal cracks. I kid you not. My Ricky Craven car, my Dave Blaney car from 2003, I don't see a single decal crack on there. So that's fascinating. A diecast that's been worn this much, it's been literally stored just about indoors 99% of its lifetime since I got it as a kid. So back in early 2004, this thing has been in room temperature since then. And it has not had a single decal crack. This thing, I have no idea where this thing, where its lifespan was spent. So enough of me dorking around about cars and diecast and decal cracking, because I'll be honest with you, a lot of y'all probably don't care about that. But I just find it fascinating because we're seeing how the diecast are deteriorating or aging, and we're seeing which ones are built to last and which ones are not. And I think there is a lot of truth to that theory that temperature might be one of the most important aspects to these Racing Champions cars. If a diecast like this can be this heavily used and not have a single decal crack in April 2025, that shows you that there is some truth to it. Because I'll tell you what, I didn't throw this car around like a baseball, but it clearly had a lot of dings. That's all for now. Enough of me rambling. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed one, everybody. Diecastbuffet. And yes, I'm a Jimmy Spencer fan. Diecastbuffet, signing off.